You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's.
We welcome you to beautiful Orlando, Florida for the 11th annual Advocare Invitational. Another terrific field here in the state of Florida. Gonzaga, the number 11 team in America, taking on Quinnipiac here at the HP Fieldhouse. A terrific field and already two terrific games. Iowa State got everything they could ask for from the Sycamores of Indiana State. They hold on to win 73-71. And Miami was tested early and often by Stanford before pulling away 67-53. And with that, we say hello, welcome, and happy Thanksgiving. Mike working alongside Brad Doherty with Andy Katz. Brad, there is no team more talented in this tremendous field here in Orlando than Gonzaga, and there's certainly no team with more size than the Zags.
Well, you said it right when you're talking about the size of Gonzaga, and it starts with Szymek Karnowski along with Zach Collins, the two leading scorers for the Zags. Two different types of players, though. Karnowski's a big, strong behemoth of a young man. Great hands, great touch, really sets up low on that block. And then Collins is more athletic, explosive, runs the floor, can face up and shoot the threes. This front court, though, is dominant, and there's going to be a lot of problems for Quinnipiac.
Karnowski and Collins, the top scorers. Quinnipiac going to be tested on the glass, where they have fared quite well over the last 6 years. They've actually led the nation in rebounding 5 out of the last 6 seasons. Again, this will be a slightly larger opponent than what they see in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Quinnipiac, very young overall. They are led by Reggie Oliver, a junior guard here in the state of Florida from Apopka. And Gonzaga, in addition to those big men, two great transfer guards, Jordan Matthews from Cal, Nigel Williams-Goss from Washington. It'll be Jonathan Williams, another transfer from Mizzou, jumping center. And the Zags control the tap. We are underway. Gonzaga in blue, Quinnipiac in gold.
One thing that Gonzaga does extremely well is they execute. They don't make mistakes on their offensive end. They really take their time. A great steal right now, though. Good hands. Good pass out the Winston.
And Winston converts in transition.
So usually your Gonzaga team really takes its time and picks you apart, tries to get that ball down inside low. You're going to get a lot of that.
And that's the biggest matchup problem that Quinnipiac's going to have. Szymek Karnowski, every bit of 7 foot 1 inch and 300 pounds.
That'll be the matchup, the biggest matchup problem they have all year long for Quinnipiac is this young man.
Karnowski's a mismatch for a lot of teams out there in college basketball. Quinnipiac led by Tom Moore, who's in his 10th year now with the program. He's had some good moments. And, of course, some of his best moments coming as an assistant at UConn under head coach Jim Calhoun. He was part of 2 national titles in 1999 and 2004.
Yeah, Coach Moore's got a really young basketball team in Quinnipiac, and he's going to have to really work hard and be patient with these young men. And meanwhile, Szymek's putting on his ballerina moves as he spins one off the glass there. Nice touch by the big fella. Great hands.
I don't think he even saw the basket on that shot. A blind bucket for the big man.
Great hands.
Oliver tries a kick-out pass, and it's finally flagged down by Winston. Up top it comes to Oliver. Gonna need a big game from Winston and Oliver and the rest of their guards.
Good switch on the defense by Gonzaga. Tough shot.
It's a desperation 3 by Bundu with the shot clock ticking down. Gonzaga off and running. And that's gonna be a travel. We've seen a lot more of those called this year in college basketball. Matthews with the steps.
Look at these little tender toes right here. Szymek sets a little screen. Look at this. Nice little spin whirling dervish of a 300-pounder coming in, taking everybody out. Like bowling pins around him.
This is Harris.
Nice.
Down low it comes.
Nice back screen by Oliver. On Szymek, he stepped over, Szymek did, and double team, trapped on the baseline. Anytime the basketball's in the corner or on that baseline, you have opportunity to trap. It's perfect time to lock it down and create a tough passing angle.
Ball came into Shays Daniels. They love his post moves, but they're going to be tested against this front line of Gonzaga.
So the sun gets blocked out when Karnowski steps into view.
Quick hands and a steal by Williams-Goss. Ahead to Matthews, who gets fouled on the attempt.
Gonzaga really trying to run downhill, put a lot of pressure on Quinnipiac, try to really make them defend. Good job. Look at Goss get around. Does a good job of keeping those feet moving and not giving up on the play. Nigel Williams-Goss, nice steal, nice transition opportunity.
Already 7 steals on the year for Williams-Goss. And here comes one of the other transfers, Jordan Matthews, who is a prolific shooter at Cal. Won a tremendous game earlier this season against San Diego State, senior out of Los Angeles, California.
I tell you, this Gonzaga team, obviously they lost 2 great All-Americans in Sabonis and Wiltshire, but I'm not sure that they may not be better balanced right now throughout their lineup. It's been interesting to watch them play early. They played well, but as they get into conference play, I think they're going to be really, really good again.
And if nothing else, they are deeper than they were a year ago.
Right.
They had to rely so heavily on Sabonis and Wiltshire last year. As you see, Mark Few did a tremendous job with this program in his 18th year.
One of the all-time great coaches. Does just an outstanding job year in and year out. These young men really work hard, play hard. It's fun to watch his teams compete.
17 years as the coach, 17 NCAA tournaments.
Not bad, not bad. You see why everybody wants to go to Gonzaga.
3 ball, kicks high off the rim, and there's the big tree, Karnowski.
Really impressed, though. Quinnipiac does a good job getting back in transition. Nothing easy inside thus far other than Shimmick just bowling over some guys.
Nelson around the screen, a kick out.
Again, good defense. Here comes double team. Nice pass by Karnowski. Good find.
Perfect skip to Melson, who left it short.
Harris, great hustle for Quinnipiac, getting over, contesting that shot.
Oliver on a pull-up. Karnowski could not grab the carom.
Quick shot by Oliver. Needs to take his time on that. He just had a great play on the defensive end. Come down, run a little bit of offense, set some picks, brush some guys off, get a little bit better shot.
The freshman Peter Kiss checks in for Quinnipiac. They're very high on a couple of their freshmen, including Kiss, who has the ball here. Probes the baseline and left it. Some loose change for Williams-Goss.
Well, you don't mess around with the ball around Williams-Goss. He will absolutely take it from you.
Probing, finds Karnowski. Mid-range jumper off the mark.
Transition opportunity. Let's see if Mikey Dixon, he's going to slow it down. I like this. Let's run some offense, even though you do let a team that's huge get set defensively. But I like you practice this every day. You run through these cuts every day, Mike. Do that. Trust it. Trust the process.
Nice mid-range jumper by Daniels, and there quickly on the other end is Williams-Goss.
He drove all the way down to the block and had Oliver pinned on the block, and Oliver got no help. Everyone just stood and looked at him. That's a huge mismatch.
Nice shot from the wing by the freshman Kiss.
Kiss, there's a nice touch there, a little dribble, let the defense collapse, give him a little bit of room, he can knock it down, as we've seen.
Karnowski going to get doubled every time out. Gonzaga works it around and driving, missing. Here's Jonathan Williams on a rebound and a stick back.
Good job, Williams, staying active on that, keeping that ball alive. Quinnipiac's got to do a better job of closing the gaps. When the ball is driven, you've got to step over and help your teammate by helping stop the basketball. Once that happens, the pass is made, then everyone rotates into position.
Again, quick hands shown by Gonzaga as Melson almost picked up another steal. 15:43 to go. Gonzaga up 10-6 early on here in Orlando.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Advocare. To learn more about Advocare products, visit advocare.com. An ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at Walt Disney World Resort. The ultimate sports experience for athletes, families, coaches, and fans.
Some of the Gonzaga fans making the 2,800-mile voyage from Spokane, Washington to Orlando, Florida. That's a good trip, to say the least, about a 40-hour car ride. Also making the trip is our own Andy Katz, as we say hello to Andy.
All right, thank you, guys. I want to pick up on what Brad Doherty was just talking about a minute ago. When I talked to Mark Few about this team, and I've talked to Seth Greenberg, my co-host on our podcast, about this a lot. He thinks, like many other people, this could be one of their most talented teams. But what Mark said is this is by far a team that's got great depth, tons of options, and if you need a shot at the end of the game, who takes it? It doesn't have to be one guy. He said there could be 6 or 7 guys on this roster who could take that last shot. Multiple guys could be in double figures on any given night. It's the balance that he thinks makes this team special. Maybe not the best team, maybe not the most talented, but certainly a team that can compete and go very far in March.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Because, yeah, you don't have Wiltshire, who's going to score 45 a night, but you've got a great balance here. So it's going to be fun watching this team, especially when we get the apron.
That's part of the balance right there. One of those 3 transfers, Jonathan Williams from Missouri, the two-handed slam.
Let me give Jonathan Williams some love. He went up and slammed it down, ripped it home, baby. Looked good.
Already 4 different Gonzaga players have scored in this game. There's that balance Andy was talking about.
Yeah, good pass from Karnowski to Williams down there. And a rebound, Karnowski. Good job.
Karnowski, top floor for the rebound and gets hacked.
One-man wrecking crew. Karnowski's got great hands, great touch. Such a big target. Look at him recognize. That double team comes. That is the most difficult thing for a big player, is making the appropriate pass out of a double team. You double team a lot of big guys and they freeze up and they have no idea. They're just trying to look for the pass in front of it. He actually threw the pass under the basket just by knowing and having the ability to communicate with his teammates. He's wide open.
Matthews can't connect, but there is an offensive rebound by the freshman Collins, who took steps. I'm going to go back to that last play, Brad. Defensively, would you say that's one of the toughest plays to guard when it's big to big?
No doubt about it, because they've got the ability to look over top, even though he made that pass down low. The big to big play is what makes basketball so great, especially college basketball, because now you can see everything going on. If you have that luxury on your team, how do you guard it? You can't stop it. So if these guys are big and they can handle the ball, got good hands, and can facilitate, whoo, that's mighty tough to stop.
3 from the corner. Quinnipiac hold here to start things off from the field. Here come the Zags off and running. Matthews passed up the 3.
Good defense. Nowhere to go. Great defense.
And forced it inside. Now a breakaway for Dixon. Takes it strong and hangs and hits it off the glass.
Great defense by Quinnipiac, and the reason why is there was so much scramble in their defense. And when I say that, I mean behind the front court, everyone was really moving, trying to help, trying to communicate, trying to talk, and being active around the basketball. Hands, feet.
Coach Tom Moore saying we're going to be a little more up-tempo this year.
Well, he has to, because he doesn't have great ball handling. He doesn't have great shooting. So you got to press the issue, press the tempo.
Smith rattles home a 3 from up top.
And we watched this young man yesterday in practice. He's closer to 6'10", 6'11" than he is 6'9". But I watched him shoot the basketball continuously yesterday from three-point range, and he made a bunch, which surprised me, because he doesn't have a lot of basketball, time or play or input. He hasn't played a lot of basketball.
That's a great point. He didn't play a single minute in high school. He goes to a junior college, and they say, hey, young guy, you're 6'9". You might want to try round ball. He plays a couple of years. He's parlayed that into a scholarship at Quinnipiac.
Heck yeah, 6'9", 6'10", walking around. Yeah, we'll find a spot for you. Not many of those guys can catch, chew bubble gum, and walk at the same time. Go play some basketball, young man.
Zags inbound it on the baseline.
Well, they've got a couple of really good-looking freshmen. Tilly on the floor from France, along with Collins. These guys are just so athletic. If you're a Zag fan, man, you've got to be really excited about the future.
And that was Tilly who just drew the foul. And you mentioned how athletic he is. You know, sometimes people see a player from Europe and they assume he's not very athletic. He's more of a skilled guy. That kid is actually athletic.
He can jump out of the gym. He's got great hands. He's very explosive. He's going to get stronger. As he gets stronger, he'll become more confident. But he can play the game.
Tilly leaves it off for Matthews on a 3.
Great defense right again by Quinnipiac, forcing a tough shot off of a pick and roll high. You'll get that shot every time unless somebody like Mark Price standing up there shooting. Then you're in trouble.
Bringing us back away to those great Cavalier teams you were a part of.
Then you're in trouble. Mark Price runs off that pick from 30 feet. You better guard him. Not like Steph Curry these days. You better guard him. That used to be a broken play in basketball. That's what you wanted.
Oliver just inside the arc. That's a deep 2.
Defensively, anyway. Good job by Oliver. Defense collapsed, and he knocks down the shot.
Oliver averaging 13.5 a game.
Quinnipiac, just as long as they don't force shots, they have an opportunity to play with Gonzaga.
Collins lost the mouthpiece and draws the foul.
We're a team that's a smaller team, like Quinnipiac gets in trouble playing against a big team like Gonzaga, with Gonzaga's pedigree and depth and coaching and whatnot, is when they try to force shots and feel like they have to get a shot off each possession just to get a shot off. Need to work on quality instead of quantity if you're Quinnipiac, and if you do that, you got a good chance to be in this game. Good post up. Now what he'll learn Collins will be, once he catches that ball in the post, takes a couple of dribbles, is just to turn that body and shoot that little jump hook. He's a little off balance because he took a little bit too much of a deep dribble. But he'll become more fluid, more explosive, turn, shoot those jump hooks. You can't stop him.
Zach Collins, a McDonald's All-American, and the ESPN Top 100, number 37.
The one thing, Mark Few told me about Zach Collins is that he can count on his energy every time out. Great energy and athleticism off the bench. That's what he expects from Zach Collins. That's what he's delivered so far this season.
Got to have that. Got to have that guy that comes in, especially a guy that's going to be around the basketball, can make big plays, make things happen. A lot of times, guys will have guys on the team who maybe not the best players, and they're the energy guys. But when you got a guy who's got some talent, this guy's a freshman, and he comes in, gives them energy and hustle, that's a good, good recipe.
And there's Collins fighting for the rebound, knocked out of bounds. It will be the Zags basketball. You know, I don't know if watching this, even if you got a nice high-def television, you need like a 100-inch monitor to appreciate how big Gonzaga is. They just continue to throw big bodies
They just
at you.
wave them in, and they got Jacob Larson sitting over there from Denmark. He's a 7-footer. Collins, 7-footer. Tilly's a 7-footer. Karnowski's a 7-footer. Ryan Edwards, who played a lot last year when Shimmick was hurt and played well, is a 7'1", 300-pound guy too. Big guys.
I'd love to see how their lineup stacks up. You know, the NBA in a lot of ways has gotten smaller as they've gotten away from the post guys.
Yeah.
Quinnipiac has got to battle a team that might be bigger than a lot of NBA teams.
That's
There's
exactly
the biggest
right.
of them all in Karnowski. Second foul on Oliver. That'll send Silas Nelson to the free throw line. Junior from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, the Zags just rotate in to this lineup, and look at these guys on the floor. I mean, just oozing athleticism and ability to run up tempo and keep the ball up high and out rebound. And I'm blown away by the rebounding stats with Quinnipiac. I can't believe the rebounding margin that they held last year. It's absolutely phenomenal, their ability to dominate the defensive and offensive backboards. We talked to Coach Moore about it yesterday. He said, well, it's the way we play. We always play, especially defensively, trying to give the shot, give that shot away and not give up the interior cuts and play. So we're always inside to box out and rebound. But how do you justify that? That's incredible.
It is.
Man.
Over 300 Division I teams as Quinnipiac turns it over here. And that'll bring us to immediate timeout. 11:45 to go. Quinnipiac hanging in there. Gonzaga up by a deuce. Gonzaga up by 2 here in the early going. Game 3 of this 4-game set today in Orlando. He is Brad Doherty. I am Mike Morgan. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It's been a fun ride so far. When you talk about Gonzaga, Brad, they have the amazing ability to get great transfers from all over the country. Mark Few telling us 2 reasons. Number 1, they win.
Yeah.
Number 2, they develop talent, and that remains the case.
Yeah, it was really remarkable talking to Coach Few about that yesterday, because they do have a great number of transfers year in and year out. And he said it's winning. Just like you say, he said people want to win. They have the opportunity to win. And they got 3 dandies right here in Williams Matthews and Williams Goff. All of these guys are going to play a lot of minutes for this basketball team. And what you get is mature basketball players. And Coach Few said that also lends itself to winning basketball games. Having the maturation involved, and then you bring your young players along, you mix in these veterans. Great recipe.
You combine that with the great foreign influence. They have 5 players from 5 different countries on their roster. And, of course, plenty of homegrown talent in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it's a winning formula, and that's why this has become one of the premier programs in America.
Quinnipiac got a little decorum warning on the bench over there while we went to break, and I was trying to break that down to y'all. Basically, what happened is they were really mad about something, and Coach was voicing his displeasure, and the officials kindly warned him to calm down. So
let's hope we don't get a decorum warning today. Not on Thanksgiving.
Really impressed thus far, though, with Quinnipiac. They've done a great job. And Coach Moore told us yesterday he's going to coach this thing in 4-minute segments. Try to keep it close, put his guys in position to be successful, and they're doing a great job.
Now, don't forget the battle for Atlantis continues tomorrow. The 3rd-place game at 1 o'clock. That'll feature Wichita State and Michigan State. Michigan State really humble today against Baylor, the Bears.
Bears
the battle
are good, man.
Louisville in the championship game, 3:30 on ESPN. Baylor is dangerous.
Yes, they are.
For more on that tournament and the Baylor Bears, let's check in with Andy.
following this tournament, you saw Miami earlier today beat Stanford. Manu LeConte played for the Hurricanes prior to transferring for Baylor. He's really found himself with the Bears, off to a very good start for Baylor, especially in that win over Oregon. Just according to the Miami staff, they told me that he wanted to be a full-time point guard. When he was playing behind Angel Rodriguez, he was not getting the kind of minutes that he's now getting at Baylor. So you'll see a lot of Manu LeConte in that Baylor-Louisville matchup tomorrow.
Andy, great stuff. I tell you, I was watching that game earlier today at the hotel, and Dan Dockich and Dave O'Brien talking about the job that Scott Drew has done in Waco, what he inherited versus what he has turned that program into. It's one of the most amazing jobs we've seen.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And when Coach Drew got that job, I was really interested in watching to see what would happen, how quickly his fingerprint would be put on his program. And he's done a remarkable job. They're tough every night, everywhere they go. You've got to be prepared to play against this team. Up-tempo, aggressive. You know, they press you full court. They really get after you. So he's done a great job. And boy, as you see today, you can't take them lightly anytime you play them. Can't take anyone lightly.
That's for sure. Gonzaga's learning that today against Quinnipiac. How about the job that they've done thus far?
They've done an excellent job, and they played very well together. Nice pass down low, easy basket. But Quinnipiac's done a great job of communicating. They can't get in a fast, up-pace, out-of-control game, though. Get a good shot. Because you're only going to get one when you do that.
Collins already with 7 points. Here comes Collins on the break, and he's hammered.
Look at Collins get out and run that floor. That's what we're talking about. He can absolutely, he's like a gazelle. He's absolutely out in the break, running as hard as he can. Here we go. Rebound comes off. Big Karnowski tips it down, gets the ball out rolling to Melson. Look at that big man run the floor.
Looked like a tall, wide receiver running a deep post to the basket.
Exactly right.
Knocks the first free throw down. Checking in for Quinnipiac, Peter Kiss. Collins out of Las Vegas, Nevada, averaging 14 and 6 already.
Good-looking young freshman. Really got a bright future here at Gonzaga. He's going to keep getting better and better, and as he learns the systems, really going to be a special player, I do believe.
He'll split the freebies, and Quinnipiac with a basketball down by 5. Coming up on the 10-minute mark here in the first half, game 3 of the Advocare Invitational, 11th year of this tournament here in Orlando.
Can't get out of control if you're Quinnipiac. You keep saying that. That's going to be the theme tonight for this basketball team. If they will come down and have some patience and run their offense, move the basketball throughout their offense and make Gonzaga move their feet defensively with passing the ball, then you get a quality shot. You can't be in a hurry, though, because you're trying to attack that little opening you see. That's fool's gold. They got too much size. You got 2 7-footers back there. You jam into those lanes, one of them's either going to block your shot or the other one's going to club you across the head and get the defensive rebound.
Collins with an offensive rebound. He thought he was fouled from behind. Quinnipiac already with 6 turnovers, trying to handle the ball better here.
Gonzaga's already back. They're already back. Look at this. They got numbers on the defensive board. You don't take that shot. You're not trying to outrun it, especially when they beat you back defensively and they're on the defense.
Nelson got rejected that time by Daniels. Quinnipiac, Kiss on a pull-up. He's not bashful.
Got deep enough into the lane. He's got good hands. Good touch by Kiss.
4 points for the freshman. It's a 3-point game.
We're going to see a little zone here. We're going to try to play a little zone. Looks like a little 1-3-1. Try to make Gonzaga shoot the basketball from the perimeter. Great pass.
Beautiful feed and almost an and one.
The mistake Collins made right there is bringing that basketball down. He caught that basketball and he brought it down and made himself 6 feet tall instead of 7 feet. Good block right there. Here goes Kiss. He's driving down. The defense gets all the way back into the lane. Absolutely. You step in there and shoot that ball right in his face. Collins caught that basketball, Mike. I'd like to see him catch it quickly and keep it up high and just lay it in. He brought it down and made himself small. He got the foul, but he didn't get the bucket.
That's the cardinal sin for big men, right?
Yep. A lot of big guys don't like it because it doesn't look as cool. You know, when you can get it down and gather it up, wind it up. You keep that ball up high, you catch it, keep it up high, no one can get to it.
Right. Not about style points.
No, you gotta look good. I do understand.
Collins, a 75% free throw shooter on the year. Good looking form and a good looking bounce.
A soft touch. All those big guys do.
And a timeout on the floor. 9:12 to go. The Zags up by 5. Mike Morgan with Brad Doherty, Andy Katz. Gonzaga up by 5 with 9:12 to go first half. This is the third of 4 games today. Got a great one coming up for you later on with Seton Hall, Florida. That is
that's going to be a good one. Those are 2. We watched them practice yesterday, and I mean, just physical, athletic teams. That's going to be a good one.
Seton Hall won the Big East tournament last year. Made it to the first NCAA tournament in a decade, and a lot of people think the Gators will be back to the tournament this year. Gonzaga quickly in transition. And now Melsing going to slow it up to Perkins. Karnowski. Skip pass into the corner.
Quinnipiac's back on defense. Very, very good. I mean, this is a well-coached basketball team. They hustle, they scramble. They just got to be a little bit patient. What happens when you play big, talented teams? You get a little bit impatient. They got to do a better job of that.
They milked the shot clock all the way down to 6 seconds with great defense before the look down low. 6 points for Williams.
I think Williams is going to be the diamond in the rough for this Gonzaga basketball team as they go throughout the season. I love his explosiveness. I think he's going to be a guy they'll keep rotating in and will make huge plays throughout games for him.
I'm with you, Brad. I had a few of his games at Missouri, and he played on some really bad teams there as they've been kind of a reclamation project. That's a great addition. That's a great 3 for Quinnipiac. And Andrew Robinson, one of the twins.
Watched him yesterday, and no one paid any attention to it, but I was watching Robinson, and they were doing their 50 shots at the end of the practice, and every time he came around, which was like 8 times, he made every 3 he shot yesterday. Phenomenal.
Quick feet there for Perkins on the walk. Gonzaga 24, Quinnipiac hanging around 20 with 7:43 to go. Now a familiar sight to folks all around the world. Magic Kingdom, Disney World here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Temperatures around 80 degrees today. Oh, so nice. Here at the Disney Wide World of Sports. This is the 11th year they've had this event. I think I was here 2007, the second year they did this. This has come such a long way. Coaches and players love coming down here. Obviously, fan bases love to get away from the cold and come here. It's become one of the marquee events during Feast Week.
Phenomenal experience coming down, hanging out in Orlando, which is just beautiful. Magic Kingdom, Disney. Walk around over there, giving those big turkey legs about the size of your thigh. Unbelievable.
Gonzaga and Mark Few have won this event twice, 2008 and 2012. In fact, they're undefeated in this event, 6-0.
He kind of reminded us. I thought he got a little chippy with us yesterday. We were asking, Coach, what you trying to accomplish? He says, well, we're here to win. We've won this thing twice. Okay, we get it, Coach. Well, calm down. Little decaf.
Yep.
Little decaf. He's a fiery guy.
He is.
Coach Few is a fiery guy. He will get after your rear end, and he wants you to play as hard as you can play. And that's why they're so successful.
The first meeting between these two schools, but there is some history with these two coaches. More on that in a moment. Left-handed hook shot, no good. A rare miss for Karnowski. Oliver quickly into front court. Nice behind the back dribble, but a terrible shot, and he gets bailed out.
Absolutely. He got a break on that. That was a poor choice of a shot. Broke the defender down. Get in there, make the defense collapse, kick it out, hit somebody wide open that's square.
Reggie Oliver, a 6-foot, 185 guard out of Apopka, Florida. They expect him to be one of their top shooters this year. He's got deep range. Knocks down the first. It is rivalry weekend. It's Saturday at noon Eastern on ABC. Hey, it's the game. The 113th installment of Michigan, Ohio State. What more needs to be said? It's from the Shoe in Columbus. College football playoff spot could be hanging in the balance. The Buckeyes have won the last 4 and 11 of 12 against the Wolverines.
Wow, they own the Wolverines, huh?
Jim Harbaugh can make a major statement. Pulls off the upset. 3 ball from the corner. Gonzaga ice cold from outside. It's 0 of 6 from downtown. And Quinnipiac scrappy on the glass.
You said it, scrappy. Continuing to play hard, put a lot of pressure on him.
Silky smooth jumper from Reggie Oliver. It's a 1-point game.
Just playing fearless basketball, taking advantage of some opportunity with turnover and communicating. Quinnipiac is just talking on defense so well. Look at them rotating. Look at them move their feet. Look at that defense shift. Look at that. That's excellent.
Williams Goss spot and fire. He can't find it.
gang rebound.
Daniels, that's a point of emphasis this year, not just traveling on the perimeter, but in the post or right around it.
Yeah, trying to clean that up where you're getting too many steps and guys are kind of slipping and sliding a little bit. But here's the profile, 10,000 students.
About 1,185 miles from Orlando, Florida. Tom Moore was very adamant about the fact that now that they are in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, that's a big step up from the NEC. No offense to the NEC, but it's just a higher ranked league, a more talented league top to bottom.
It becomes a depth thing, just like you mentioned there with the last. That's what he's talking about. Just every night you got to be prepared to play because it gets more difficult every game.
So Tom Moore, when I was talking to him yesterday, he was saying, look, we were picked 10th out of 11 in the MAC. That's the MAC with 2 A's. Now, you may not see what he was saying on your screen right now, but he said, and I quote, we're probably not ready for the level of competition that we'll see in Disney right now because our biggest issue is our inexperience. Well, they're growing up before our eyes right now, guys.
Boy, that's a great point. I mean, nobody would have thought this would be a 3-point game as we come up on 5.5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, and what scares, what's concerning for Quinnipiac is their ball handling. When you play against a team like Gonzaga and you don't have experienced ball handling, it gets you in a lot of trouble because the decisions being made, affect your team every time you're down floor. So tonight it's been excellent.
Right, and meanwhile, it's been Gonzaga a little sloppy at times. That's the 7th turnover on the Zags.
Same thing applies for Gonzaga that we were talking about for Quinnipiac. You got to take advantage of your skill set, getting into that half court and executing, cutting hard, running hard off those. You start playing frantic basketball up and down, transition basketball, just trying to outshoot people, you give everyone a chance. You get in a lot of trouble.
Tough shot by Oliver off the glass and in.
Well, he turned that corner. Nobody stopped him, and Oliver went right to the goal. Oh, yeah, that's sloppy. Just sloppy.
Steal by Quinnipiac. Robinson. Oliver again. Heat check 3. Nelson passed up the open look. Karnowski won't.
A bit of a hurry. Got him hurry.
Fires up a brick and then a foul on Gonzaga. That's on Matthews.
Wow. Didn't see this at all.
No.
You look at the inexperience Quinnipiac has. You look at this team Gonzaga has, the depth. I thought we were going to be in for a little bit of a
Go ahead, you can say it.
Good old-fashioned, out to the back of the shed type thing here in the first half of this basketball game. But Quinnipiac has showed up and showed a lot of grit, a lot of tenacity, and played really well, especially defensively, and they gang rebound that basketball like no other.
3rd foul on Matthews. This wouldn't rise to the level of Chaminade over Virginia with Ralph Sampson, but it'd be a huge upset.
Be a big one. Be a big one.
Gonzaga zoning up and causing the turnover. Look at that. All the way to the hole with the thunderous slam is Tilly. That kid is 6'10". And knocked out of bounds to the Zags. You can see why they like Killian Tilly, the 6'10" freshman out of France.
Outstanding transition play by Tilly. Pushed it out himself. Long strides. Hammer up a dunk.
Coming up on the 4-minute mark, a 3-point game. Williams-Goss passed up the 3.
Good defense.
Perkins won't, and Josh Perkins, who led his conference shooting 46% from downtown last year, buries the triple.
They're going to have to make tough shots. Speaking of the Zags, if they're going to be able to pull away in this basketball game, because they're not getting anything easy.
It's the first 3 for Gonzaga. Williams-Goss takes it into the front court. Quinnipiac, tenacious defensively.
They are. You're exactly right. Oh.
Of course, as soon as I say that, Nelson.
Well, Daniels has to step over there and be willing to take that charge. As Nelson lowered his shoulder, that would have been a great opportunity to get a charge.
8-point cushion. Gonzaga on a 7-0 run over the last minute. It's the largest lead for the Zags.
A little zone defense here, a little 2-3.
Oh, there's a steal by Perkins. Takes it strong, has it blocked. Follow no good. And a foul on the play by Williams-Goss.
Here we go, nice steal right here. Look at Tilly out those long strides. Throw it home, big man. Great job. Melson comes down, lowers that shoulder, goes to the basket. Nobody wants any of that. Zags up.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's.
Chris Cotter, Dallin Cuff, thank you so much. We look forward to that. 2:54 to go first half here. Gonzaga up by 8 on Quinnipiac. Mike Morgan, Brad Doherty with Andy Katz. What about that game coming up, Brad? Talking about Baylor moments ago. Louisville championship game. Great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams looking to go deep this year into the tournament. So why not start now? Whoever wins this game gets a great opportunity to really fill out. And all these tournaments are great this time of year, Mike. You get a great understanding, first quarter of the season, where your basketball team's at, where your program's at, and how far you actually can go. A lot of these coaches leave these tournaments, and they go home and they say, okay, we can be pretty darn good.
Such a great barometer for each program, as opposed to just piling up cream puffs. And
that's right.
You know, you can stockpile wins real easily in college basketball if you want to schedule that way.
A lot of teams do that. They look great until they get into conference play, you know.
Williams-Goss knocks it down to the free throw line, the former Washington Husky, and the Zags now on a 9-0 run.
They just kind of all of a sudden opened up a run, and it's amazing because the game was so close. And it just in 3 or 4 or 5 plays, it just changed. But still, Quinnipiac's done a great job. We're going to have a tough time with this zone, though, trying to find a good shot because the Zags are so big, and it's going to create turnover opportunity.
They're big, and they got quick hands. Lead pass ahead of the pack, and the easy deuce dropped in by Josh Perkins.
Great adjustment by Mark Few with this zone that they've gone back into, because now forces Quinnipiac to take a tough shot each time. They're not going to get an interior shot with the size that Gonzaga has, so going to take a tough perimeter shot over hands.
Quinnipiac trying to put out the flames here. Gonzaga on a big run. Open three would help. No sale there. Offensive rebound rejected by Melson.
Melson's a big shot blocker now. Great help.
Floater is good.
Oh, man.
Good looking freshman, Peter Kiss.
There's a guy who used to play for Syracuse named Sherman Douglas.
Oh, yeah.
He used to shoot that little floater. When he came into the NBA, he'd shoot that little floater. He'd drive, play for the Nets. I'd try to block it. And it would just creep over your fingertips. You never could get it.
Got it. Either a jump ball or timeout. Jump ball. And the possession arrow goes to Quinnipiac.
Tell you what, Tom Moore's coaching his rear end off over there.
There you see Tom Moore.
We got to get Tom off the floor. He is he's yelling at guys. Look at him.
Tom Moore on the right, Mark Few on the left. These two coaches, I mentioned there's some history there. Tom Moore, a longtime assistant for Jim Calhoun at Connecticut. And UConn, a #1 seed, facing Gonzaga, the #10, back in 1999.
Oh, yeah,
Dan Munson was the coach. Mark Few was the assistant for Gonzaga. And Tom Moore telling us that was the most uptight and nervous he'd ever seen Jim Calhoun. They hadn't won a national title yet before that game. They needed to win it to get into the Final Four. They broke somewhat of a monkey off the back, and of course went on to win the first of several national titles.
Yes, Jim Calhoun's one of the great coaches of all time, but he had that label at that time of not being coach not quite good enough to win the championship. The best coach to never win a championship.
Right, it's like the best golfer to never win a major.
Exactly, which is ridiculous because the guy's a great basketball coach and obviously went on to win a couple of championships there and a lot of games, and that was a tough time.
Illegal screen on Quinnipiac. And Tom Moore does not agree with that call. And you see a long-time assistant for Connecticut, 2 national championship rings back in '99 and 2004. For more on that, here's Andy Katz.
I was actually at that game in Phoenix, and it was really the start of what you've seen as your present-day Gonzaga. Mark Few took over for Dan Munson the year after that. Munson had gone to Minnesota. I can also tell you that really fostered a strong relationship between Jim Calhoun and Mark Few, because Calhoun really respected the job that Few and the Gonzaga program had done from that point forward. And as Mike just said, it really was one of those tests that UConn head coach Jim Calhoun always remembered en route to his first national championship.
The two remain friends today, still speak to one another. Tom Moore jokes about how sometimes Jim can be a little bit on the cranky side, very competitive, very intense even now in retirement.
I see Coach Calhoun from time to time in Bristol. We're doing a little pro basketball, and he comes in during the college basketball season, and just love talking to him. One of the great fatherly figures in college basketball. You know, he just feels like you can talk to him about anything. And he's just a wonderful guy, and really a pleasure to talk to, and a great, great coach. A lot of young men have had the great privilege for playing for him, and it's truly special to play for Coach Calhoun.
Boy, did he put Connecticut on the map.
He did.
Back when the Big East was stacked with Hall of Fame coaches.
Man, John Thompson, Jim Boeheim,
Arteseca, Massimino,
PJ, Carlissimo. There's some great, great battles in that Big East.
Kiss, the freshman with 8 heating up. 8-point lead for the Zags. Final shot of the half on the way, and rattles out for Tilly, and Quinnipiac certainly has to feel good about what they were able to do in half number 1.
They're not disappointed at all. They've scrapped and hustled. They got a shot.
37-29, our halftime score, as we send it to Chris Cotter in studio for the Land Rover halftime report.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's.
You are watching the Advocare Invitational from the HP Fieldhouse in Orlando, Florida. Halftime score, Gonzaga up on Quinnipiac, 37-29 your score. Mike Morgan alongside Brad Doherty, and Brad, 20 points in the paint for Gonzaga. Not surprising that they would dominate down low since they have so much size.
You know, Mike, I thought they would dominate even more. I'm really surprised that Quinnipiac's been able to play with them as well as they have, especially considering what Gonzaga has in Karnowski and his ability to take up so much space, and then Collins' athletic ability. So I'm really surprised, but we saw some nice moves early on. He catches that basketball. He does a great job of turning those big, broad shoulders and creating space. Look at that, just clearing out. There's nothing you can do, and he's got very soft hands. You go to the other end, Williams, nice pass that back door for the dunk. And Collins on the other end, on the opposite block, catching the ball. Nice little left-hand drop step. That's fundamentally sound basketball. He can shoot the basketball facing up. But these guys around the basket, they're very, very dominant, but they've not overwhelmed Quinnipiac. And the big thing is you look at the rebounding.
Right.
They've only out-rebounded Quinnipiac by 1 rebound.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's amazing what Quinnipiac has been able to do. Again, leading the nation 5 out of the last 6 years in that category. Turnovers really did Quinnipiac in during that late Gonzaga run, though. 14 points off turnovers for Gonzaga. One other stat on the Zags, they were only 1 for 10 from behind the arc. But again, Brad, they don't have to shoot the ball well from outside to win games.
No, they don't, because they're going to get enough quality shots on the block. But if you look at both these teams shot 41% before. They both shot the ball, not great. But the rebounding's amazing. Kiss with a nice shot.
He is a great-looking freshman. 11 points for the young man out of New York. Perkins trying to respond, and he does.
Ball goes down to Karnowski. That double team drops in his lap. He does such a marvelous job of passing that basketball, that double team. I'll tell you, so that's really difficult. It's not an easy thing to do. And when you do that, you're going to have wide open jump shots.
Perkins 46% in the West Coast Conference last year from distance. Kiss again. That was a heat check 3.
Didn't quite have his feet set. Just was more anxious to get the shot off instead of taking his time. Just be ready and be in that position to catch it and shoot it.
Zags going around the horn. Karnowski feeds Williams-Goss.
Good defense.
Back to Karnowski, immediately doubled every time he touches it. Beautiful skip pass, sets up the open 3, and it's knocked down by Melson.
We hate to see that skip pass get through those defensive, that flat defense. You got to get those hands up, but nice pass by Karnowski.
Great vision by the 7'1" big man.
Well, and he doesn't panic. He's so big, so strong. He catches the basketball. You're hacking, beating on him. He just doesn't pay any attention.
Winston hammered it as he takes it strong to the goal.
Passing out of the double team is one of the most difficult things for really big players. He catches that ball, fumbles it a little bit. No panic. Left-handed sling pass across the lane for the wide open jump shot.
Shevik Karnowski, this is not his first rodeo, his 117th career game at Gonzaga.
Well, you look at him last year, beginning of the year, we thought this young man was going to be one of the player of the year candidates before he went out with back surgery and ended his season. So we know what kind of ability and talent he is. He was a potential All-American talent coming into last year any season. So glad to see him bounce back, though, from the back surgery. It's taken a little bit of a process. You lose a little bit, you lose a little speed, a little bit of ability to jump and feel, but he's starting to work his way back. Looks good.
And you can speak firsthand of that injury.
Yeah, that L5, L4, L5, S1 ended my career.
Zags in the front court, exhibiting patience, trying to find a good look against a scrappy Quinnipiac defense. Williams backing in.
Deep. That's too deep. He's got to get some help.
Williams will go to the free throw line. Andy?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to both head coaches walking onto the court here for the second half. Let's start with Mark Few of Gonzaga. He said, first of all, when we conducted our offense the way we wanted to, we got the right shots. He was very pleased. When it was tough shots that he thought Quinnipiac wanted them to take, not happy. Not happy with the 9 turnovers either. Also, let's take a wait-and-see attitude how they handle adversity, even though they did respond when the game got close in the first half. As for Tom Moore of Quinnipiac, he said he thought that changing defenses caught Gonzaga off guard a little bit, thought they boxed out well, but he was very worried about whether or not Gonzaga would stay in any kind of zone in the second half, because he said our zone offense is not very good, not a great perimeter shooting team, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, although they've made some shots here to start the second half.
Particularly Peter Kiss, the freshman. He's been red hot.
That was the difference in the ballgame. Excuse me, Mike.
Yep.
When they went to that 2-3 zone, talking about Gonzaga, and we talked about Quinnipiac just didn't have anything for him.
Harris knocks down the mid-range jumper. Daniel Harris, who last year was a terrific perimeter player, 73 pointers, shot over 40% of them. Karnowski lumbering, too strong on the hook shot.
When you play man-to-man basketball, you always have an opportunity. You move your feet and play fundamentally sound.
And that's going to be a foul. Quinnipiac will go back to the free throw line. I think Williams got him on the arm.
Quinnipiac's been very aggressive, attacking it all. I mean, they're taking every opportunity to get a shot up. And I think they're good enough to run their offense and to really score within a framework instead of just hoping to get a shot up, maybe make a lucky shot here or there. I think they can execute that offense. I think they can take it to Gonzaga and put some pressure on them.
Daniels, his first point in a while. He's got 3. Their top post player. Kiss will get a breather and a pat on the back from head coach Tom Moore.
Kiss came in and gave him some great minutes. First half, same thing here. Made a couple shots early.
Nelson gliding into front court. Karnowski off to Perkins and back up top to Williams-Goss.
Good defense by Bundu.
There's the
Williams.
skip. There's the 3, and it rattles off.
Wow.
Don't forget to join us on Tuesday for our next Sonic Blockbuster game. It's number 24, Michigan State, taking on Duke Tuesday night at 9:30 on ESPN, all part of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Been a tough start to the season for Tom Izzo and the Spartans.
Well, they've had a struggle, haven't they?
And that's going to be a walk on Winston. Were you surprised watching that game today? Michigan State, at one point in the second half, they were just manhandled by Baylor.
I really was. Usually the thing with Coach Izzo's teams is that they compete so hard and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And I watched that game today, and Baylor just absolutely took it to them and dismantled them. And that's usually what you don't see. And of course, this basketball team is a young team Coach Izzo has, so they'll be better come April. But I was really surprised at the outcome of that game today. They're usually competitive no matter what.
Nelson launching a 3. Quinnipiac on the other end can't connect.
I tell you, when they go play the Duke Blue Devils, they better have it figured out, because Mike Krzyzewski's basketball teams will run you out of the building if you're not prepared.
And they haven't even had their full complement of players yet.
They've been hurt. That's right.
It'll be interesting to see who they have in uniform. Battle for the Atlantis bracket again. Third place game at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Wichita State and Michigan State. And then at 3:30, it's the championship game on ESPN. Baylor, Louisville.
Wow. There's some people that think Louisville could be the sleeper to win it all this year. So really talented basketball team Coach Pitino has. So see what happens. Be a good game.
Jump shot silky smooth by Williams-Goss, who was so good at Washington. Second team all Pac-12 performer.
So Gonzaga goes on these spurts, and they push the lead back to 10 to 11, And what happens on Quinnipiac's side is they come down and they take these quick shots. They've got to slow that down because it becomes a turnover, essentially.
Might have gotten away with a walk there, and still a turnover on Oliver. That's the 8th.
One possession, no offensive rebound. That's tough. Playing against a team that's going to be as methodical as this. Pick and roll high, nice pass down low. That's a great pass. Good find by Williams-Goss.
And a great seal by Williams to draw the foul. Gonzaga up by 11 here in Orlando.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. And Fruit of the Loom, gift underwear responsibly.
The number 11 team in the nation, Gonzaga, leading Quinnipiac 46-35. Our score with 15:44 to go. The Bobcats hanging in tough with one of the top teams in America.
Yeah, they've done a good job of being very aggressive and active, especially on the defensive end. A lot of communication, a lot of talk, a lot of switching. They've got to be patient, though. And I've said that for the last 40 minutes, but they've got to be patient on offense and start getting quality shots. They're trying to put up big volume of shots to keep the game frantic. Gonzaga's too big, too good. You got to come down and get what you can get out of your offense.
Williams-Goss dribbling up top. Defended by Dixon, the freshman. Karnowski.
Well, if he could just go ahead and shoot that. He's got a good shot. He needs to shoot that. Karnowski does from the free throw line. Defense dropping that far off of him.
Nelson cut off.
Good defense, nowhere to go.
4 to shoot. Karnowski going to have to fire it. Wheels and deals and missed it too strong.
Great defense, great communication, great talk, great hands, great feet, good movement.
Tough shot off balance by Donovan Smith.
I'd like to see Smith be able to finish that shot.
Beautiful lead pass for the slam by Nelson.
Smith catches that basketball. He's got to go up and finish that shot. Get that deep. Don't just throw it at the goal. Got to throw it down.
Largest lead for Gonzaga now. 13-point cushion. Baseline drive, and Donovan Smith will go to the free throw line.
Donovan Smith, great play there. He had a good play right here. You see Karnowski coming over that big body, that wall, and bodying up Smith. Here's a fast break opportunity. Quick pass out, down the floor. Very efficient. Nelson, nice dunk. Few dribbles in that. That's what you like to see. Don't let the ball touch the floor.
Absolutely. That's what Gonzaga can do. They can run. They can play a half-court game.
Yep.
They can defend well. It's hard to find a weakness on this Gonzaga team.
And I think that's what you'll see them get better at as time goes on. They become more cohesive in how they attack. Right? You know, tonight it was a little sloppy early. They were moving the ball and juggling the ball around, but they've started to pull away. This is what we kind of expected, and I think this will get better and better, and they'll be more a well-oiled machine by the time they get to the end of December.
And it's important to note, this is only the 4th game of the year for Gonzaga.
Correct.
They lost Sabonis and Wilcher. Combined, those two averaged 38 points and 20 rebounds a game. You got you got 3 transfers in the starting lineup. Yeah. You got freshmen all over the place. So it might take a while for this unit to gel.
It will take a while. And what happens with great programs, great coaches, it's all about their process. And that takes time. Everyone understanding, developing. You have young players come in, and the older players teach them the process, and then you start churning out victories, and it just kind of keeps overlapping. It takes time, no doubt about it.
Nelson around the screen from Collins. They whip it into the corner, pump fake, and then firing a deep shot as Matthews left it short. Here comes Quinnipiac with numbers. Quinnipiac on the, he blew the bunny. Oh, Boondu would love to have that one back.
Kiss made a nice pass to him. He just didn't handle it very well. Got too deep under the basket. Blew the little layup.
That's what we were talking about earlier, the balance of Gonzaga. Last year was a 2-man show. This year, on any given night, any of these guys could lead the way.
And that's going to be a problem as we get deep into the winter. They're going to be hard to stop because you won't know who to stop.
This will be one of them. Karnowski has it rejected by Donovan Smith all the way into front court and knocked out of bounds by Gonzaga. It will be Quinnipiac basketball.
Get under that basketball goal as a big guy like Karnowski just did. You catch the ball, you keep it above your head, and you lay it in. You don't try to gather yourself because that brings all those little guys in. We talked about that earlier. Keep it away from them, up and in and quick.
3 ball from the corner. And the rebound is Williams-Goss, who averaged nearly 5 boards a game as a guard at Washington. Almost turned it over. Nelson on a reset.
Gonzaga comes down, they run their offense. I like it. Take the time. Nice pass. Now, you see, keep it up high.
Yeah, he did. He was listening, Brad Doherty.
Well, listen, big fella. Yeah, keep it up high. Only he can get it. Perfect.
8 points for Karnowski. Oliver, look at that move. And there for the tap-in is Donovan Smith.
Good job by Smith getting on the boards. Oliver, I'm telling you, he's aggressive. He's looking for opportunities. He's missed a few, taking a couple of tough shots, but I like his attitude. I like his direction. Boom, dude. Oh.
He read the skip pass. It will be Gonzaga basketball.
Keep that ball up high, talking to the big guys. Look at that. Throw it up high. It stays up high. Nobody can get it. There's nothing you can do. He brings that ball down, though, to gather himself. Now you got 4 hands around. Look at this. Keep it up high. He's the only guy up there. Nobody else is there. That's a great big man play. I'm proud of you, young man.
He'll get a
that
breather.
Made my Thanksgiving.
Mike Morgan with Brad Doherty, a guy who knows a thing or two about good post play. Back at North Carolina, 5-time NBA All-Star with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Long time ago, Mike. Long time ago.
Yeah, I saw the footage. It was in color. 5 to shoot. 3 from the corner, and there for the offensive rebound is Collins. A fresh 30-second shot clock for the Zags.
Boy, nice pass.
Baseline jumper, no good. Another offensive rebound, and finally Quinnipiac corrals it. A foul on Gonzaga.
Boy, Gonzaga was playing keep away with those big guys for a little bit there.
Second foul on Zach Collins, the freshman.
Inside of their big play, the big guys together from Gonzaga, just a little bit off timing wise tonight.
4th team foul on the Zags as we approach the 12-minute mark.
Once you get to where they can play together consistently and cohesively, they're going to be brutal.
Wow. Reggie Oliver, silky smooth off the window.
He keeps driving that basketball, Oliver does. He doesn't stop. If you don't get out and stop him, make him pick that ball up, he's smart. He just does not pick it up. He will continue until you make him yield. And under that circumstance, he's close up to the basket, little bunny shot.
3 on the other end is knocked down by Jordan Matthews.
Nice shot by Jordan Matthews. He's been hunting for it. He's missed a couple. I like his attitude, though. That's what he does. Keep hunting for it.
You'd be on the hunt, too, if you shot 42% career from downtown.
But they find it in their offensive flow. That's what's good. It's not just a transition shot or an inadvertent shot on a broken play. It's within their offense.
Wild shot there, missed. Zags going to try and make them pay. Perkins into front court. Setting up the 3. Don't want that guy to get hot. Jordan Matthews is flammable at any time. Gonzaga has its largest lead. More on Matthews when we come back from Orlando. Well, we know Gonzaga has the beat, but they've got some sharp shooting as well. Jordan Matthews, this was against San Diego State. 5 of 7 from three-point land. He had 17 points. He was hitting them all over the floor, from the wing, up top, from the corner. Could not miss. And doing a little bit more here today, here in the second half with a couple of more three-pointers. Has 8 points on the night. Jordan Matthews, a career 42% three-point shooter, and a guy, Brad Doherty, when he heats up, it is trouble for opponents.
Boy, once he gets his body square to that basket, it doesn't matter where he's at on the floor. He catches the ball, he's prepared. It's going in. I mean, the Jordan 6'4" senior out of Los Angeles, California can flat light it up. Andy, you got a little more?
I do, and you know, you guys talked in the first half about all these transfers, and part of the reason Gonzaga's had so much success is because of the relationships they have all across the country, especially in the West Coast. Jordan Matthews, son of Phil Matthews, former head coach at USF. The Zag head coaching staff, the entire staff, has great relationships throughout the course of the West, so they feel comfortable taking these transfers, and so do the coaches and parents that are sending them up there. And also, guys that have sat out at Gonzaga have gotten better. Kelly Olynyk, Kyle Wiltshire. The redshirt year has been great for these players going forward.
That's a great point. It goes to what Mark Few told us yesterday about, obviously they go to Gonzaga to win, but there's a reputation with this program about developing players. Quinnipiac trying to develop a run here, and there on the follow is the freshman Peter Kiss.
How about Peter Kiss getting on the floor, just flat getting after that basketball in the little scrum down there, getting it to his teammate, getting to the other end. And not only he didn't get the shot, but he got the offensive rebound. Great job by Mr. Kiss. Doing a great job tonight for Quinnipiac.
Well, Gonzaga's not playing poorly. Quinnipiac is just hanging around.
They really are, and we didn't expect that. We thought they'd be inexperienced and really struggle. Guys like Peter Kiss coming in playing great basketball.
10:34 to go. It'll be Gonzaga basketball when we come back from Orlando. The Zags up by 14. Quinnipiac hanging around thanks in large part to Reggie Oliver as we go inside the play, Brad.
Yeah, Reggie's done a super job now. He took a couple of tough shots in the first half, but you see the pick and roll come here. He goes with the pick. He goes against the grain, goes the opposite way, and now he's got Karnowski coming at him. But he's smart because he knows that even as big as Karnowski is, he's not a shot blocker. So he's got the little mid-range game, which is like actually a lost art in basketball today. And that shot, little kiss off the glass, excellent play, took advantage of his ability to break down that pick and roll.
Shot clock at 7. Matthews launches.
Good defense.
Matthews gets it back, gliding in. Missed it from close range, gets it back again. How about a third time? He'll go to the free throw line.
Lost opportunity there for Quinnipiac. They could have captured that basketball. They get away with something. Matthews doesn't miss a lot of those shots. Good defense on him on the initial shot, though.
It's an offensive rebound for Gonzaga. You got to give Quinnipiac credit. We talked about their rebounding prowess over the years under head coach Tom Moore. Here we sit, nearly 10 minutes left to go in this game, and the much smaller Quinnipiac is only being out-rebounded 33-28.
Quinnipiac doesn't have a 7-footer on their team. Haven't had one. Don't see one coming. Playing against Gonzaga that's got, you know, a boatload. So a lot to be said for the fundamentals and the discipline of Quinnipiac, and Coach Moore, how he teaches these young men to compete on that defensive glass. It's remarkable.
Positioning can make up for size, can't it?
Unbelievable. Positioning and a little bit of want to. It's everything.
Quinnipiac wants to get a bucket here. 3 on the way. Too strong. Karnowski has it knocked out of bounds. It will be Zags basketball. Checking in for Gonzaga, Silas Melson, the junior out of Portland, Oregon. With Brad Doherty and Andy Katz, I'm Mike Morgan. Great to be with you here from Orlando, Florida. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. The third matchup of the Advocare Invitational. Don't forget, coming up shortly after this ball game, we'll have Florida Seton Hall, a great Big East SEC showdown.
I think that's going to be a barn burner. Can't wait.
From up close, little hook shot there by Jonathan Williams.
Jonathan Williams gathered himself. If he does that, you don't get some hands in around that basketball. He's so explosive and so powerful. Nothing you can do.
9 points for the former Missouri Tiger.
Tough pass by Oliver.
Right off the face of Daniels.
Yeah, didn't give him a chance to even catch that basketball. He was going through so quick, and he broke that double team. Oliver should have kept that basketball dribbling and moving. Good steal by Oliver, though. Comes back and makes up for it.
Zaga gives it right back. Spin move and the finish by Peter Kiss.
Nice job by Peter Kiss in that transition. No help from Gonzaga. Nobody stepped over to help stop the basketball. Nice spin move.
15 for the freshman.
Wow. I think he's going to see a lot more playing time.
Oh, a rifle pass to Williams for the flush.
A little lazy on the backside of that zone. Daniels has to get those hands up. He and Boondu, they're standing back there in the 2-3 zone. You've got to get your hands up, at least take up space, because you don't have to move as much because it's not man-to-man. At least have your hands up ready. Boy, Reggie Oliver turns that corner. Oh, man, tough shot. He turned the corner. He got the defender trying to step out and help. He got his shoulder under him, but he takes a poor shot.
He made one of those earlier. Maybe he has to have a 7-footer in his face to make it.
I believe so. Got to have a challenge. Look at Peter Kiss here in transition. Spin move. No one helps. Oh, that's a nice no-look pass. That defense, that can't get through there. That cannot happen. That'll be a great learning video once they get back home. I know they're not going to watch it, but never should happen in the back end of the zone.
Quality dime from Josh Perkins. The officials have stopped play to check if the ball hit the rim. As it stands right now, they're saying it did with a fresh 30-second shot clock.
Rick Crawford, Brett Hampton, and Chris Bieber, I believe the guys we got here officiating tonight. Yeah, that's Chris. They've done a good job keeping the game moving. Reggie's a little bunny floater, a little heavy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a little iron.
That'll be one of the easier ones they have on replay this year.
Yes, it will be. See if they get it right.
So a fresh 30-second shot clock for the Bobcats.
Look at that shot clock. Okay.
It has been the Kiss and Oliver show for Quinnipiac. Here is Oliver. Combined, they've got 24 points. Not that time, though, on the three.
Kronowski did a good job stepping out, trying to help, even though he's at a speed disadvantage. Just stepping out, getting those hands up, made all the difference in the world.
That one just an unforced error right through the hands of Perkins. Tonight, after the LSU-Texas A&M game, sit back with some leftovers for Sports Center at night with Kenny Mayne and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have a feast of highlights from NFL, college basketball, plus the rest of the day in sports. Give thanks for Sports Center at night on ESPN. Also, streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
I hope Nicole has all of her stuff together because she got to work with Kenny Mayne tonight. Nicole's one of my favorite people in the world, and Kenny Mayne is absolutely nuts.
The pride of UNLV.
He is nuts. He's got so much energy. It's unbelievable. Fun to work with, as well as Nicole.
Quinnipiac's getting some good looks. They're just misfiring.
Can't make some shots. That's exactly right. That's the difference right now. It starts to get away from because Gonzaga's coming down, going right at him, taking good quality shots, point-blank shots.
That was just 1-2 there by Jonathan Williams. Bullish in the paint. He's got 13, and the lead is 20.
Starting to wear him down. Starting to wear him down, obviously.
Timeout on the floor. 7:50 remaining. The Zags imposing their will on the Bobcats.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Advocare. To learn more about Advocare products, visit advocare.com. And Gildan, every thread counts.
Beautiful sights here in Orlando, Florida. Great place to be on Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Mike Morgan, Brad Doherty, Andy Katz. This is game 3 of 4 tonight. Coming up later on, it'll be a doozy with Florida taking on Seton Hall. Earlier today, very entertaining finish. Iowa State had all they could handle from the Sycamores. Larry Bird would have been proud if Indiana State could have pulled that off. Miami pulling away late from the Stanford Cardinals, 67-53. That sets up a good showdown tomorrow morning on ESPN2 between the Cyclones and the Hurricanes.
Basketball in the morning. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, right.
In the morning, the afternoon, a little late night clean up with a little basketball.
Leftover turkey.
Man, absolutely.
It's all the dressing you need right
I went
there.
to Grandma's house today and we threw down. Man, I can't wait to get back and get a little more.
I hope you're going to be able to last to the second game with all that turkey.
I don't know. I got a little tryptophan issue going on here.
We've got Andy Katz on the bench just in case.
I'm glad.
Nice feed.
Nice play.
And a good finish by Shays Daniels.
And I like the fact that Oliver didn't, Gonzaga thought he was going to shoot the basketball because he's taking a lot of tough floater shots in between shots, but he faked him out that time. Got it to a teammate. Get someone else involved. Get those hands ready, big guys. Oliver they can't stop him.
Williams Goss on a leaner gets it to go.
Nice job by Goss getting into that lane, making an easy shot over top of the defense.
When you can get a transfer from a Power 5 conference that averaged nearly 16 points and 6 dimes a game, that's pretty strong.
Woo, that's a great cog to plug into your program. There's going to be maturity, there's going to be experience, and an excellent player. That's what you're trying to develop in your young guy.
And another case of what we were talking about. I mean, he came from a good program that has had troubles getting over the hump and into the NCAA tournament. Gonzaga's there every year, 18 consecutive NCAA tournaments.
Well, I thought they were going to win the Sweet 16 last year. Syracuse made a tough basket at the end to beat them.
Rebound corralled by Melson to Williams Goss. Whip pass inside to Collins, banging bodies, hoop in the harm.
Good job by Williams Goss forcing that ball down the post, leading Collins into that basket. Harm and foul. Nice job. Good. Look at that basketball move. Good decision. Led him right to the goal. Good job.
The McDonald's All-American Zach Collins, number 37 in the ESPN Top 100. I was talking to Paul Biancardi earlier today. He said one of the things that Collins really gives them, it's going to be great, and every team wants this, especially if you're a 7-footer and you can do this, a pick and pop guy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so many facets to his game that you can continue to develop throughout the season and be able to pick and pop. Now you got to make a decision. If the other team, who's going to guard him? How do you guard him? Wilcher was a little bit like that for them.
Kiss Still aggressive and still making plays. He'll get 2 free throws out of that drive.
Boy, Peter Kiss isn't afraid at all. He's going to win this game one way or another, either by himself or with some help.
He came off the bus in Orlando shooting.
Man, I'm telling you.
Knocks down the first one. Kiss came in averaging 7 points a game. He's got 16.
Can see a lot of playing time for this young man. He just does so many things well, especially shooting and scoring the basketball. Seems to be a natural scorer of the ball.
Perkins.
Good ball movement, good defense. Little zone here, little 2-3 zone, or 2-1-2.
Shot clock under 10. Nelson, a travel.
Good defensive stand.
Now, last year was a 2-man show, essentially, for Gonzaga. Sabonis and Wiltshire. Tonight, 7 guys with 8 points or more.
That is a luxury in basketball, to have that many people that can touch the basketball and be effective on the offensive end. I'm telling you, this team is so deep and so talented. Really going to be fun to watch them play this season.
I mean, you really got to pick your poison, right?
You have to pick your poison. Exactly right. Are you going to drop back and double team Karnowski, or are you going to be up on Williams Goss? What are you going to do?
Good ball movement. Sets up the open tray. Knocked down by Harris.
Got Williams Goss and Melson out on the perimeter. And Josh Perkins, these guys can shoot the lights out of it. You got to make a decision.
There's a brick. Collins had it. Knocked away by the Bobcats. And a jump ball. And a scrum there on the block. Williams tussled up with Daniel Harris. Don't forget the battle for Atlantis, Baylor, and Louisville. The championship game tomorrow at 3:30 on ESPN. The Bears and the Cardinals both playing exceptional basketball. A little Big 12 ACC action. They've got a great field here in Orlando.
Really do. Got some really strong teams here. And it's fun to see all these teams get off to good starts. And some of these teams will take a lot from this to learn, a lot to work on when they go back home. So
turn around, face-up jumper by Daniels.
You'd see more of that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that. That was nice.
That's a young Brad Doherty right there.
It looked better than anything I ever had. That was awesome.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark.
Trying to take a little air out of the ball with the zone here, try to force Gonzaga to take a tougher shot.
Collins trying to show some range. I beg your pardon, that's Killian Tilly, the
they
freshman.
look just alike, though, don't they?
Yeah.
They look like bookends.
they're both extremely tall and extremely skilled.
They look like bookends. Nice touch by Tilly.
One's from France and one's from Las Vegas. Slightly different culture in those two areas.
Just a little bit.
Harris with the response.
Okay. They're not going away. They're not just going to quit. Talking about Quinnipiac. They keep playing. They're playing hard. Coach Moore's still coaching hard over there.
It's funny you mentioned that word, quit. He said the one thing I wanted to be concerned about, if we go down heavy, I don't want to see our guys hanging their heads and quitting. I want us to play hard to the very end. He has gotten that from his team.
Absolutely. That's to be proud of, no doubt.
Andy, you have more on Killian Tilly.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if there's a better international scouting assistant than Tommy Lloyd on the Gonzaga bench. He basically could have gotten another head coaching job, but he stayed true to Mark Few, and he has recruited Europe, Australia, all over the place for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Remember, Rony Turioff was from France, so he keeps these connections, networking across Europe, and you see how it's benefited this program. Karnowski from Poland, Tilly from France. There's a long legacy from Europe, Australia, and of course, from Canada.
That's a great weapon to have as Perkins knocks down the jumper. And Tommy Lloyd, as you mentioned, Andy, he could have been a head coach. He stayed with Mark Few. He's been with Coach Few now 16 years.
Tommy Lloyd is one of the premier assistant basketball coaches in the country, and he will be a head coach somewhere someday. I've watched their practices and watch how he runs the practices for Coach Few. He is phenomenal. He's an excellent teacher, great recruiter. He is going to be a well of a head coach somewhere.
Tilly on a bump foul there. There you see Coach Lloyd. He and the Zags awfully happy right about now. Chris Cotter, that is a Thanksgiving bombshell. I think most of us expected Tom Herman to wind up in Austin, Baton Rouge, the destination.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you how it's going to work out for Coach Herman, unfortunately. It's a great job, but the problem is
you got to play Alabama every year.
You got to go to Tuscaloosa, or they're going to come to you, and you're not going to beat them. It just is not going to. As long as Nick Saban's at Alabama, they're going to beat you. And so, congratulations to Coach Herman. I was hoping Coach Orgeron would have an opportunity to coach job. I thought he has done a good job thus far. You're not going to beat Alabama.
That is
the way it is.
That is a mammoth-sized rabbit out of the hat on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I thought he was going to Texas
if LSU pulls it off. I think all of us did.
Yeah, all the hubbub was him going to Texas, and Jimbo Fisher possibly going to LSU, even though he denied it. You know how those coaches always deny it.
Oh, yeah.
But this really shocks me, too. I've been keeping up. I'm a big college football fan. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about how well my Tar Heels have played in football.
Oh,
I need to talk a little bit more about that.
So multi-dimensional you are. We haven't even broken down NASCAR yet. Gonzaga up on Quinnipiac. Here in the third game of the quarterfinal round, Mike Morgan, Brad Doherty, Andy Katz. Gonzaga kind of the de facto #1 seed, and that's part of the reason why so much size. Another 6'10" freshman, Killian Tilly.
Outstanding. Speaking of NASCAR, Jimmy Johnson winning his 7th championship.
Now, do you like him or do you not like him?
He's wonderful.
Okay.
One of the most humble guys I've ever met in my life.
This is what I've learned.
Who has the status that he has in professional sports.
Okay. Well,
just an everyday guy, very humble, very down to earth, very unassuming. Doesn't act like he's a superstar, even though he's a huge one. Just love the guy to death.
That's good to hear.
Great champion. Great champion.
One thing I've learned about NASCAR, for a lot of fans, you either like a driver or you really dislike them.
Well, that's part of the deal. You got to have it. You either like the Steelers or you like the Redskins or you hate the Cowboys. It's one of them.
You either like Duke or North Carolina or you hate the other one.
Everybody likes North Carolina.
Oh, is
Nobody
that it?
likes Duke. Come on. Everybody hates Duke.
Duke's got a big one coming up in a few days against Michigan State.
That'll be a great game. 2 Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore type guys and coaches. And Tom Izzo and Mike Krzyzewski, just the epitome of college basketball, winners, developing their young men, getting, it's just they are what college basketball is all about. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. I don't care what the records are at the current time. That'll be a fun game to watch.
Donovan Smith, they're trying to make sure he's got 5 fouls. He has fouled out. You can't hide from that. Eventually they're going to get you, Donovan. He's got to leave the game.
Yep. Big to hide.
Speaking of your Tar Heels, how impressive were they in Maui?
I'm really excited about my Tar Heels. They looked great last night. They played really well. They're kind of under the radar. Nobody's really talking about them. They did lose a great leader in Marcus Page, and Bryce Johnson was a tremendous athlete. But I have been really, really impressed with Barry and Meeks, and Coach Williams, Roy Williams, has got them playing well together. They're going to be really, really tough to beat. You
know what I like about them? Unlike so many marquee college basketball programs these days, they're old, as in they have upperclassmen.
And that's what Roy Williams has always been about. He's always been a guy that really was about trying to get young guys in and recruiting them in that wanted to stay there for 4 years and develop those older teams that you have success with seniors. And that's all changed today. The game has changed and the ideologies have changed with the one and dones, and it's all understandable. And he's had to adapt to some of that because he really had a tough time, I think, at putting a lot of confidence in a guy who's only going to be there a couple of years, and then you got to reshift, and that's hard to adjust to. But they've got a senior-laden basketball team that's pretty darn good.
Really good chemistry right now in Chapel Hill. That is a circus shot. And it will be out of bounds to Gonzaga. The Zags now just pulling away. Quinnipiac justifiably looking a little fatigued at this point.
They are. They're running out of bodies and running out of energy. They played well, but they've just been, just worn down by the sheer size and depth of Gonzaga, no doubt about it. But there's a lot that they can take. Quinnipiac's got a chance. They've got a chance to be really good in the MAC. So they're going to have to work really hard, though, every night, just like they did tonight, when they go up against some of these teams like Monmouth and these really good programs that have evolved.
Don't forget, if you folks are still hungry for some good college basketball coming up, our nightcap, Seton Hall against the Florida Gators.
It's going to be good. hungry. Man, don't say that. My stomach's hurt. I ate so much. I ate like a complete idiot today. I just lost my mind. And,
I'm jealous. You had grandma cooking.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And I just, you tell yourself all week, man, just, when Thanksgiving comes, you just moderation. And I have no self-control.
Right.
Like a complete, I had pumpkin pie, pecan pie, pumpkin pie, turkey, dressing, and cranberry sauce with green beans all on the same plate.
I'm going to use a NASCAR term. So you took the restrictor plate off on your diet
before I even got close to the house. It's ridiculous. Now I'm miserable. And nobody cares.
Hang in there, big guy. We still got another game.
I need a little Pepto-Bismol. I'll be great.
Free throw knocked down by Daniels. He's played well tonight. There you see our bracket here. Seton Hall in Florida. Coming up about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one.
So as you get ready for Seton Hall, Florida, just for a moment, think about what the Big East has done so far here in the non-conference. Villanova won the Charleston Classic. Creighton won the Paradise Jam. And a few days ago in this building, Xavier won a tournament that was in Puerto Rico, in Orlando. You've had Butler, which is playing right now in Las Vegas, is off to a great start. This is a conference that potentially could get 5. If Georgetown could ever get their act together, it could be 6. It's an outstanding start for the Big East.
Certainly is, Andy. And, a lot of people wondered when the Big East was basically blown up and reinvented, if you will, would it ever be that caliber of conference again? Well, they might not have as many bids as they used to when they were a larger league. But as Andy was talking about, they could have half the conference go to the big dance this year.
The quality of basketball in the Big East has risen back to the top. And it's good for college basketball. You got to have the Big East looming out there large, because it's always been a standard bearer of good, tough, physical, hard-nosed basketball. And this Seton Hall basketball team epitomizes that. When you watch them play tonight, you're going to see a team that competes very, very hard and out on the edge. This is the basketball team that won the Big East Conference last night, the tournament last year, in beating Villanova, who won the national championship. So it tells you what kind of depth is coming along with the Big East, and it's good to see. I'm happy for the Big East.
Yeah, they stunned a lot of folks last year, knocking off the Wildcats in the championship game.
Beat Xavier, too.
That's right. Coming up in the final 90 seconds of this one, Gonzaga in good shape, leading it by 23.
I'm telling you, he can shoot it. He in practice yesterday did not miss a shot. Andrew Robinson can flat shoot the basketball. He needs more touches.
They've got a few guys.
They really do. He can shoot it, man. They need to find ways to get him basketball more on the offensive end. And this young man right here is going to get him some serious playing time.
Kiss gets the chance for a three-point play. He baited the defender and then knocked it home.
He's played a well of a game, Mike. He has played really well the whole time he's been. Every time, as soon as he stepped on the floor coming in off the bench, he's been effective. That's what you want to see. Coach Moore is going to be looking at this, watching this film, and trying to find ways to get him more minutes.
He'll have to settle for 18 points. A game he's going to remember for a long time.
Absolutely. He's played really well.
Some of the backups now in for the Zags, including the big 7'1" center Ryan Edwards.
He played a lot last year when Shimmick was hurt. Ryan played a lot of minutes. Did a good job, too.
Under a minute to go.
Well, he ran into that wall of a body there. Turned the corner, Greg Tarka, and ran right into Edwards' midsection.
Backamus up top. This is Triano. There's the big man with the offensive rebound and drops it home.
Not much you can do with that. You get that big, that close, ain't much you can do with it.
Robinson.
Oh, I was halfway down.
And that'll do it. Gonzaga 4-0 on the season, advancing to the winner's bracket. As we go over tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Advocare, Nigel Williams-Goss, stuffing the stat sheet, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists for the Zags.
Great job by Williams. He did a great job of just running the show. did everything. Those 8 assists, got a lot of people involved, a lot of touches of the basketball, made some nice steals, did a great job. Good game.
Gonzaga now 7-0 all time in this tournament. As Mark Few told us yesterday, they're here to win it once again. They will play the winner of Seton Hall, Florida, which is coming up momentarily. That's coming up next on ESPN2 for the Advocare Invitational. For Brad Doherty, Andy Katz, and our entire spectacular Thanksgiving crew here in Orlando, this is Mike Morgan saying so long. Thank you for watching as we send it back now to the studio.